This is the AOC Sports High School Football Preview Show.
Hey, we made it another week. Pandemic, hurricane, and we're back here again for, it's now week 6 of the high school football season. Friday Night Rivals here on UTV 44. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, as we get ready for going to be a fun matchup tonight. A lot of teams playing out-of-region games this week of the season. T.R. Miller, they just took on Bayside on Monday night, and now they're coming down to UMS to take on Terry Curtis and the Bulldogs, and we'll hear from Coach Curtis momentarily. And last week we were at LAD 7A matchup as we saw Theodore and Murphy. We knew a little bit about Theodore, coming into the game after talking to Coach Kelly. They played him the first week and didn't really know a lot about Murphy, and I think we saw that it was a big step up in competition from what what Murphy had maybe faced early in the year, going up against a Theodore team that may be finding its stride a little bit right now.
Yeah, I didn't think that there was a big discrepancy in talent on the field necessarily. Both teams have got really good players. But Theodore just looked like they were a little more battle-tested. Theodore's a team that knows exactly what their identity is. And the coach will laugh with you like, yeah, our identity is 1982. But the fact is they know how to run the ball. They know how to stop the run. And they have enough good people on the backside. They don't get beat deep. Good football team. And to say that, Murphy, I think, is a good team, too. They just ran into a team that was more ready to, to compete that particular Friday night.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of matchups like that in 7A, a lot of teams that are evenly matched and then get together. So that was a big win for Theodore, and they knew they had to have that one, and now Murphy will kind of regroup and get back after things. Again, tonight, T.R. Miller taking on UMS-Wright. Our Ryan Pace, general manager of the Chicago Bears, right here. I'm telling you, just Google Ryan Pace and look at Dr. Lane. It's like you never see him at the same place at the same time. And because I may be the only person in Mobile that knows what the GM of the Bears looks like, right?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, thank you. Well, Dr. Lane knows. How are you, Dr. Lane?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Okay, so like all the hurricane cleanup, like we all can get hurt. Hopefully, like rotator cuff, not usually a hurricane cleanup type injury, right? That's not
absolutely could be. Mine's hurting a little bit now. I don't know about yours.
Raking, I tell you, pulling that dang chainsaw 50 times that won't start, that'll hurt my rotator cuff.
Exactly. So, well, we are talking about the rotator cuff tonight. Basically, what that is it's 4 muscles that surround the ball and socket joint of the shoulder. Okay? And the whole purpose of that rotator cuff is to keep that ball centered in the cup throughout that wide range of motion that all of us can do with our shoulder when we're cleaning up limbs or if we're playing football like these guys are.
Right. So you can see it, like obviously you hear pitchers in baseball have it, or maybe a quarterback from that motion, but like where else do you see that injury occurring? Maybe like in guys that aren't like, playing sports professionally or even just on the weekend. How else does that happen?
Sure, it's extremely common. It's one of the most common orthopedic injuries. Basically because we have this delicate instrument and we're asking it to do a lot of crazy things, whether that's heavy labor or throwing a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Eventually that's going to take its toll and these delicate little muscles are going to tear. So most tears are just cumulative trauma, wear and tear. In fact, 10% of people over 50 years of age have a rotator cuff tear.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and I suppose probably maybe some workplace stuff too, maybe repetitive motions, people doing things in the workplace could lead to that over time too, right?
Absolutely. It's one of the more common things we see. It falls under the category of sports because of the arthroscopic skills that we use to treat it. However, most of the people we see are actually heavy laborers, electricians that are working overhead, things like that.
Got it. So I'm sure like everything else, like strengthening it, trying to do whatever to preventive on the front side?
Absolutely. I've worked with professional baseball players over the years, and one thing I noticed going out to spring training is that they are religious about doing their rotator cuff exercises. And so that's one of my best ways to explain to the patient, listen, these guys, these professionals, they believe in it. They do it 2-3 times a day. And so if you're going to go out there and work in the shipyard or work as an electrician and work overhead, you really need to keep your shoulder tuned up as well. And so doing rotator cuff exercises can prevent injury.
But probably had a lot of guys with maybe not injured but sore rotator cuffs. All the great line workers that were working this past week to get us all back in order.
So from all over the country.
Yeah. If you do have it, if you do have it, you get an injury, and does it always require surgery? And if so, how long are we looking at to get back to it?
Sure. So we're going to get an MRI, see what type of tear it is, and depending on what type of tear it is, it may lead to surgery. Basically, partial tears you can usually treat with just exercise and anti-inflammatories. If it's a full thickness tear where the tendon's pulled away from bone, there's just no way for it to grow back into the bone. And so that's where I come in. And so a sports specialist can now rebuild an entire rotator cuff through 3 or 4 little poke holes around the shoulder. Wow. So the technology has really come a long way. But then, as you mentioned, the rehab is still pretty difficult. So we're talking about 3 to 6 months to get back to full athletic activity after a rotator cuff repair.
And lastly, so like, is it, I would guess you start to feel it, like get in and see a doc, right? Because it's not like, the pain's not going to go away on its own.
Absolutely. I would say if you're having night pain in the shoulder, pain with overhead activity, or weakness with shoulder use, just come get it checked out.
Yeah.
Good move.
Come see
Dr. Lane.
Yeah, come see him. All right.
He's not from Chicago.
Yeah, no, that's it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll keep our you know, you can hear it too, patting yourself on the back. Like,
I've done that.
Yeah, you were out 2 weeks one time because of doing that.
Yeah.
All right, T.R. Miller coming down here to Mobile tonight to take on the UMS-Wright Bulldogs, and we'll hear from Coach Terry Curtis and his crew coming up right after this. Friday Night Rivals here at AOC Sports as we get ready for our 6th week of the season tonight. And we're back at UMS-Wright, Irvin S. Cooper Stadium, as we are watching the UMS-Wright Bulldogs play host to T.R. Miller. Did we do a T.R. Miller UMS playoff game way long time ago?
Maybe in 03, 04, something long.
Who was the coach up at T.R. Miller then?
Jamie Ribbs.
Yeah, Jamie Ribbs. Yeah. I remember we did a game.
We did?
Yeah, we did a game back then. Terry Curtis.
On Old Shell.
Yeah, head coach of the Bulldogs. Will Pappas, offensive lineman of the Bulldogs, with us here too as well. And Coach, this continues to be a bit of a strange season, scheduling, those type of things. The hurricane, one thing maybe helped you a little bit, got you a chance to be able to go see T.R. Miller this week as they took on Bayside on Monday, and it's rare you get to scout a team during the season.
During the week,
yeah,
especially.
Right.
They played Monday night, them in Bayside, and they beat Bayside. They're very good. I think they're 4th or 5th in the state in 3A. Good football team. Brent Hubbard does a great job, and you know, we got our hands full again. I mean, it's not like we're playing a non-region game against someone who's not very good.
Yeah.
They're really good. They're physical, and you know, this deal goes way back. You know, Brent Hubbard's daddy was Jim Hubbard, who coached with me. The first time I ever met Jim was in the 1997 Alabama-Mississippi game. He was on my staff. I was the head coach. 97. And no, it was 99. And coached with me, and we got to be great friends. And Brent was just a little old guy. And,
how cool.
You know, and it's come up, and I've watched his whole career, player and so forth. And what a great job. He's just like his daddy. And so it's going to be fun to play them. And I just wish it wasn't quite as good.
Yeah, I bet it's we'll talk. I bet it's a pretty big honor for him too to be able to get the matchup to go against TC.
Yeah, and I happened to find them on YouTube, and I found some videos of them playing the entire game. Again, no. Did I watch the entire game? No.
No.
But I can tell you, they've got some players, and they were playing. It was a game they played against Cottage Hill Christian,
right?
Which they ended up pulling away and winning by a pretty good margin. But I saw some talent.
Oh yeah, they're a good football team. They do it the right way. They're physical. They're going to run the football first and play action pass. And that wins a lot of football games.
Yeah, it wins a lot of football games, doesn't it? Doing that.
It sure does.
Doing that. Offensive line always starts up front. I know when you get a returning player up there, it's a huge help, someone who's played a lot. But you were talking about Will and what he's doing on the offensive line. And I know it seems like there's pieces moving in and out with all teams right now. But kind of talk about how things have been up front for the Bulldogs so far.
Well, you know, we're off and on. Will's our leader up there. Will's a 3-year starter. He's played a lot of football at UMS. If y'all remember, y'all did the game last week against St. Paul's. He got hurt late in the game, got rolled up on, and he's kind of limping off the field and still giving everybody, you know, high fives and everything else. And Will's a tough guy. My hardest thing with Will was getting him out of the band to the football field because he loved football, but he also liked playing that saxophone, all right? Yes, so getting him off that saxophone and halftime, me and him and the band director and all, but But man, what a great kid, and he's what UMS-Wright's all about.
I would suggest
he loves to do both. I think he's still with the band, and still plays concerts and all that stuff with them, and just a great guy, and yet he's a leader on our offensive line.
I would propose that he's the toughest guy in the band.
Are you? I'm not sure.
Yes, sir.
I said,
there wasn't any hesitation on that.
Yeah. I said, Kenny G, he's not a pulling guard. He's not plowing over anybody to open up any holes. We got
he's
Will
the
here.
leader of the band.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
the leader of our football team.
A leader is a leader. A leader is a is a leader.
You know, he buys time both ways. He's one of our leaders, and you know, he's a 3-year starter. He knows what's going on up there, and you can always count on him and give an effort. And he's going to play hard and get after folks. And he's been a lot of fun to be around.
Of course, had great success. I mean, third-year starter coming off the 3 consecutive state championships, and now into your senior year here. And just talk about what the year's been like so far, just for you as a leader, because it's been a year like no other for all of us. But no more. I don't think there's anybody more affected each week than the young men playing high school football.
Yeah. COVID made it difficult early on. I mean, nothing was really the same during the summer. We couldn't have spring football. We couldn't build up any rapport with our freshmen. Basically, we're just having to do the best we can with practice. You just got to lead by example. You got to go hard every day during practice to make sure the freshmen know they got to get ready to go, because sometimes somebody's going to go down and somebody's going to have to step up. And some of those freshmen are going to have to this week.
Yeah, we're going to see some of that this week. Talking about, showing the younger players how it goes and the importance in that. One thing we've always seen with the Terry Curtis coach team is they're always getting better. They're like the Patriots. They're always building to week 10 and then in the playoffs. Are you seeing that incremental improvement from you and your teammates that you're hoping to see right now?
Definitely, sir. Mainly just players are finally stepping up. They've learned the plays finally since obviously spring was canceled. But linemen have stepped up. Some have gotten injured. Others are getting plugged in. You're just plugging in the next man and they're getting ready to go.
I know you, obviously you always lean on leaders every year. You kind of know what you expect from your leaders and what you want them to do. But I'm guessing this year there's been more placed on the leaders of the football teams because so much was missed early in the year. There's only so much you and coaches can do. I mean, leaders might have to even lead more right now.
Well, no doubt. And I think everybody's still finding their way along with this stuff. I mean, we've played 4 football games and we're still plugging guys in, moving guys, no spring training, no 7-on-7 in the summer. All that stuff, no Camp Grace, the thing that was kind of a team bonding. We haven't done any of that. Social distancing. We're having to dress 4 groups at a time. I mean, one of the team bonding things in that locker room with those guys. Everybody in there at the same time, getting to know each other. We're having to send a few in there at a time, 4 different groups every day. And it changes, and people having to stay on the field. There's just not that same deal, but we are playing.
Yep.
And that's what we keep going back to. We are playing.
Yep.
These guys watch all their friends and everybody else in the spring get shut down. So at least we're playing football games, and I'm not sure we thought we'd get this far.
No question. And each week we always know, hey, something could change. You're a great sport. You're a great leader, great saxophone player. You did a great job too, as well. Will Pappas with us here. We're going to talk more about the Bulldogs as we get ready for our matchup tonight with T.R. Miller and UMS-Wright here on Friday Night Rivals. Kickoff about 15 minutes away. Our friend Terry Curtis, maybe the only coach we talk about haircuts with in the commercial break. I mean, we've known him forever, and we're comparing who.
Let me tell you something. It's because he's a dean of discipline. He's got a problem here.
Cameron Snipes with us here on the defensive side of the football. We've seen him defensive line, linebacker, move all around here. We know
he can play anywhere.
Coach Curtis, and let's go back to defensively. Kind of fill us in where where you see your team at right now as we're here at the midway point of the season?
Well, you know, I think they're still learning. We got a lot of guys still making a lot of mistakes and being out of position, which isn't us.
Right.
You know, these guys have got to do it the way that we've taught them to do it. Most times they do, but then they get, you know, their youthfulness. Even though we got a lot of guys that are seniors playing over there, a lot of them haven't played a whole lot.
Sure.
So it's taking time for them to see live action and see what's coming at them and so forth. That's not true with Cam. You know, he's been over there for a couple of years, but yet he's been more of a defensive lineman type. Now all of a sudden he's a linebacker. Everything changes. So, you know, it's a lot to learn, a lot to do, and a lot to bring in and think about. And I'm not sure right now. We're not playing real fast because we're not real sure of what we're doing.
Thinking instead of reacting, doing that, Cam. Let's talk about linebacker. I would just have linebacker seems like it might be a little more fun.
Oh yeah,
a
lot more running, a lot more hitting, more action for sure.
As you get ready for this Greenville team, this T.R. Miller team coming down from up there, like kind of what have you seen as you get ready to see this? What are they going to challenge you with offensively?
I mean, they can run the ball, and they got players, and they're big enough and fast enough that they're going to just start off by running and trying to get it there. And I think once they hopefully not be able to run the ball anymore, that they'll start moving to the pass and play action, and hopefully we'll stop that as well. And I think we'll be all right getting the passing and finishing off with getting the run stopped.
Ken, what have you seen from as this team develops and grows? We've documented the you know, all the roadblocks with COVID and everything that's come along with that. No spring practice, really, essentially no summer.
Yes, sir.
Not the same camaraderie. Here it is, a big season for you, and yet it's been kind of mired in this grayness of COVID.
Yes, sir.
What can you do from this point on? Nothing we can do about what's already happened.
Yes,
now
sir.
we're at the midway point of the season. You know what the goals are. What do you do?
I think the biggest thing is just coming out to practice with the intensity of ready to go and just be focused and keep playing on. And you got to be there and focus on the goal of winning a state championship. And every week, just focus on winning. And the biggest thing is just keep doing and playing hard.
Coach Koziel, the defensive coordinator, you got some great defensive coaches there. UMS, Coach Koziel, one of our favorites. We've known him a long time as well.
He brought a Robertsdale team to UMS.
Obi Trotter. Obi Trotter was the
was
quarterback. Talk a little bit about our old friend, Coach Koziel.
Oh, yeah, I love Coach Koziel. I mean, he does a great job. I mean, you can't say enough how good he's done. And you can see, I mean, the past years we've been so good on defense. And this year, I think once we start getting people in the right places and get going, that we'll be just as good as we've been in the past. And I think he just does such a great job with us, and he's a great guy. I love him.
You really have some talent on your staff, TC, and I have people text us during the games that really know what's going on, and they'll say, wow, you know, it's evident in game adjustments, those things. I mean, it's one thing you've always had is you've surrounded yourself with great assistant coaches.
Well, yeah, that's been the key to the whole deal, you know. And I told Shaw High School when I went there, told Murphy High School when I went there, told UMS when I went there. Pretty much who I was going to hire, and I've had to plug in some new guys, but kind of knew who I wanted and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And, you know, I want those guys to know more than I know. And, you know, defensively, for instance, I know enough on defense to be dangerous, you know, and I let those guys do it. I expect them to do it, and they know I expect them to do it. I don't fool with them. Very seldom I even go in the film room with them. And if I do, they know it's not a good day, that it's been a bad week when I do go in there. So, you know, those guys do a great job, but I've always believed in letting my coaches coach, and I'm going to let them on offense and defense coach. And, you know, as long as they can do the job, you know, and we've always had good guys doing that.
Yeah, and you have the blueprint. It works. Stick around. We got our last. Actually, you're going to get a bonus segment. You get to stick around for the last segment. Jay's over there like
Pappas is going to play us out.
He's like, I'm glad I didn't have to go for two seconds. We'll come back. We'll do some silliness to wrap things up. It's T.R. Miller taking on UMS-Wright tonight here on Friday Night Rivals on UTV 44. All right, we're about 10 minutes from kickoff. UMS-Wright playing host to TR Miller, and had a double segment of UMS-Wright here as we get ready to get ready for this week matchup here 6 weeks into the season. So we like to wrap up the show with a little thing here called Like It, Love It, or Steer Clear of It. So that's what it is. It's really not that... I mean, Brennan and I do it, so it's not that not that hard. All right, so we'll.
Hey, I'm on talk radio. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, laying pine straw.
Oh yeah, right in the middle of it.
Like it?
I'm one of the best.
Love it. Oh.
Yeah.
Stay clear of it.
Yeah, we're staying away from the pine straw. Enough of that.
I love it, and then I like it, and then like 8 bales in, I'm like, oh, can somebody else
I
do
use mulch.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay.
I got
I usually have somebody do that.
I got several $100s worth of pine straw, and then we had a hurricane.
Oh, nice, and a new dog.
And a new dog.
And a new dog.
Yeah.
All right. So you might have had to do this during a hurricane. Colin Cowherd and Tony Gonzalez swear by starting your day with a cold shower. 90-second cold shower. Cold showers?
I've done it.
I've
done it for a stretch. Yeah, so I'll say I like it.
That's not the question. It's not have you done it. It's like it, love it, or steer clear of them.
Well, I don't appreciate the attitude, but I like it.
Like a cold shower.
Sure.
Stay clear of it.
I like a cold shower every now and then. Nothing wrong with that.
Before the game last Friday, power was out of my house. Like, I dipped my head in the shower, stood out, I put a leg in. I can't take a cold shower in the middle of August when I've been doing...
I can handle warm. I can't handle...
I can't ever. Nothing cold. Mardi Gras balls.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
In the day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, steer clear of them, not a chance. So the Chicago Bears, I asked these two a few weeks ago if they like the Bears to be 7.5 wins or more on the season. Now they're 2-0 to start the year. I'm just reminding you of that.
Yeah, right.
Bears are getting
who they beaten how?
3 against the Falcons in Atlanta this weekend. Bears getting 3 at Atlanta.
Just to antagonize you, they're going to get blown out.
I am never betting Atlanta again.
That's a good point. Yeah, we're going to go with Bears. Yeah.
I am done with Atlanta.
They're the worst. All right, so...
Whoa. Did you see that onside kick? They just let that?
Oh, yeah. Just...
Okay. I don't think my kids would have done it.
No. Well, they wouldn't have done it more than once. I know that. All right, quickly, Bama laying 28 against Mizzou.
That was a lot, Bama.
Yeah, Bama.
Like it?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't even gamble, so I don't even know what these lines mean. Kickoff comes up next. It's UMS and TR Miller right here on Friday.